This is Matt for Into Boxing. I'm delighted to be joined by former world champion Shannon Courtenay. Shannon, first off, how's things going?
Yeah, I'm really good, thank you. How are you?
I'm really well. Huge press conference today. I'll forget about obviously Jake Paul, Eddie Hearn for a second, but let's talk about the two who are headlining that show. What does it mean for women's boxing? What a statement this is.
It's huge, isn't it? Forget women's boxing. This is just a huge fight for boxing. It's massive. Everyone, look at the pre-sale numbers. It's just huge. I'm excited. I'm so excited.
It's been years, obviously, since Eddie started this with Katie Taylor, and slowly but surely, women's boxing has been getting bigger, been getting better. We saw just this week Clarissa Shields and Savannah Marshall. They had a bit of needle ringside. We see that in the men's game all the time, and for me, I was like, finally, they've got that chance to get their moment in the spotlight and do that. Are we finally breaking them boundaries bit by bit so that women's boxing sort of creeping up on the men's now?
Yeah, of course. I don't think you're going to get any needle in this fight because Katie, you could steal Katie's nan's kidney and she won't react. She's just very placid, isn't she? So you're not going to get any needle from her behalf. But this fight doesn't need needle. It doesn't need back and forth trash talk. Sorry, he's making me laugh. It doesn't need back and forth trash talk because the fight is the fight. It is the fight. It doesn't need to be sold any better than it already is. It's the fight.
Yeah, this fight completely sells itself. I mean, the weight divisions Amanda Serrano's been through, and Katie Taylor, it's mad, isn't it? And then when you look at Katie Taylor's resume, the names on it, the rematch with Pursoon. So I've got to ask you, I've asked someone years ago about this, and they were so convinced Katie Taylor was going to win, and ever so slowly it's got to it. They're sort of leaning towards Serrano. As honest as you can, would you give the advantage to who thinks going to win?
If you'd have asked me this years ago, I would have said there's no way in hell anyone's going to beat Katie. As it stands right now, I feel bad saying this, I imagine towards Amanda Serrano.
Yeah, I think people obviously, it's good, like Amanda Serrano is a great example of someone who's been at the top of the game, dominating, but never really had that exposure. And as much as people can say what they want about Jake Paul, but they finally, with his clout behind, has given that exposure. Let's come back to you a little bit now. Jamie Mitchell obviously performed the other night, she got the victory.
Yep.
Where are you in your sort of comebacks? Obviously, you had a lot going on in that last build-up to the fight. Where are you in your sort of recovery stage?
So my physio Glenn told me yesterday that he reckons I've got about 6 weeks left of rehab, and I can go back into doing like pad work, boxing, punching again. So rehab's gone really well. I'm ahead of schedule. I'm massively ahead of schedule because I've just worked my arse off. I have not stopped doing all the correct rehab. The ice machine is on my leg every night. I'm just working my arse off.
What have you learnt about yourself through this tough time? Because obviously, straight away after the fight, obviously you received a lot of criticism again. Do you sort of look around you and sort of, does it open your eyes and sort of cut through your grass to see who's actually with you, kind of thing, in them moments?
It's very easy to criticise someone after losing a fight who's boxing basically with one leg. I had one leg the whole fight. It was ridiculous. The whole camp I had one leg. So criticise, that's fine. I hope them critics come back when I win the rematch. But no, outside of boxing, it makes you, everyone loves you when you're world champion. Everyone wants to come to the parties. Everyone's banging off your phone, wanting selfies. Yeah, they're all there for the highs. It's very fickle, and it's when you're at an all-time low, and not just because you lost a fight, because you've just had a massive operation which could have been career-ending. You see who your true friends are. I've got my girls, got my family, got my other few close friends. That's all I'll ever need.
When you talk about the injuries and stuff, and you mentioned it obviously after the fight, was there no point before that you'd have had the opportunity to say, look, it's going to be no good me fighting on one leg? I know that's not what the warrior in you wants to do, and a fighter goes in there with one eye kind of thing, but was there not an opportunity where you maybe could have been said, you know what, it's not going to happen? I
was told to not fight by specialists. I asked my physio Matt at the time, I said, is there a way of me fighting? And he was like, well, kind of, but you'd have to wear a brace, we'd have to do this. I said, whatever it takes, do it, and I will do what is needed on my behalf so that I can fight, because unless you're dragging my corpse across the ring, I'm going to keep fighting.
Fair enough. Like I said, warrior in you, I suppose. When you look at what else is going on in the division, obviously Ebanie Bridges is going against Cecilia Roman in Leeds for a world title. It looks like everything's sort of going round in circles, because in your eyes now you'll get that rematch with Jamie Mitchell. In your eyes you'll get that belt back, and you two, providing she wins, could be heading for a mega rematch. Do you sort of see that down the line? So Cecilia Roman's no mug, she's a really tough fighter.
Let's get it right. Ebanie's got to beat Cecilia Roman first. That's a bloody tough fight. One that I'm not convinced she wins, to be honest. So let's see how that goes on first. My only thought process right now is Jane Mitchell.
Would you ideally, and obviously say your rivals, you're not necessarily rooting for them, but business-wise, obviously for you must know later down the line that does big numbers. The first fight was a brilliant fight. That was another one for women's boxing also.
You could put me and Ebanie back in the ring without belts. It will do numbers because of the backstory, the fact that she doesn't stop talking about me. I'm glad that she's got a world title shot because she stopped talking about me for a week, and it's been peaceful, to be honest. But
you can't see it. You blocked her and stuff, haven't you? Though you won't be able to see it, will you?
I blocked her before I even fought her because she was just non-stop tagging me and stuff, and I thought, who is this girl? Like,
you're good for each other, aren't you? Rivalries make boxing. You come two completely opposite ends, aren't you, of the scale?
Very different people.
Absolutely.
I'm just quite a chilled out, keep myself to myself. She doesn't. But listen, I'm sure we'll meet again down the line. But until then, I'm quite content following my own little path.
Alright, no worries. Well, Shannon, I won't keep you too much longer, so last one for me. Have you got a message for all the fans, all the ones that stuck by you through all the thick and thin, the injuries and all the crap that's going on in the background with you, so you got a message for them?
Yeah, just thank you to everyone that has stood by. Thank you to my sponsors that have stood by me, and the fans that have been, willing me to get better. It's been tough. It's been a horrible few months. It's not been an easy recovery. Being bedbound for so long is. Babe, I'm just doing an interview. Can I ring you back in 2 minutes? Alright, bye. So it's been it's been a hard period, but I'll be back bigger and stronger, and I will remember, trust me, even down to the Instagram handles. I'll remember who was there cheating me on and backing me, and I'll be like, yeah, he was a fan all along, not just when I was world champion.
Shannon Courtenay, thanks for talking to Into Boxing. Wish you well your recovery.
Thank you so much. Cheers.
Cheers.